Bueno, muy buenas tardes a todos. Estamos aquí en la presentación del libro Teaching English in Global Context, Language Learners and Learning. Estamos aquí con el decano de la Facultad de Filosofía, el profesor doctor Ricardo Luis Pavetti Pellegrini. También está con nosotros la decana de la Facultad de Educación de la Universidad de Alabama en Birmingham, la doctora Teresa Dotti. También me acompaña mi coeditora en este trabajo, la profesora Susan Spezzini. Y también nos acompañan varios de los autores, editores y personas que colaboraron con nosotros en este proyecto. Entonces estamos muy contentos de poder presentarles este trabajo de 2 largos años de mucho trabajo y esfuerzo por parte de un equipo grande de personas que estuvieron trabajando para que este libro se haga realidad. Y con esto voy a cambiar al inglés un ratito y después entonces para continuar. Thank you everyone for being here with us for our book presentation, Teaching English in Global Context, Language Learners and Learning. This is the product of 2 long years of a lot of work, especially Susan and Julia can attest to that. We are here with our Dean from the Faculty of Philosophy at the National University of Asunción, Dr. Pavetti, and Dr. Dotti, the Dean at the College of Education from the University of Alabama. Para iniciar esta presentación, vamos a darle la palabra al doctor Ricardo Pavetti, quien nos va a dar unas palabras de bienvenida. Adelante, doctor.
Sí, muchas gracias. Muy buenas tardes, especialmente para la decana, la doctora Teresa Dotti. Un saludo muy especial a las personas que estuvieron a cargo de la edición y especialmente a la doctora Susana Spezzini y a la doctora Valentina Canese, que son las coautoras de este material. Estamos muy contentos, orgullosos inclusive de participar de este lanzamiento, que es un término que usamos acá, para contribuir a la enseñanza de este idioma universal que es el inglés, y desearle al libro y a las autoras un porvenir venturoso. Muchas gracias por invitarme y estoy, repito, muy contento de participar con ustedes. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Dr. Pavetti. For those who don't speak English, Dr. Pavetti just wished us very well with our book. Congratulate all of the authors and editors of this book. And we are grateful for your presence and for your wishes, Dr. Pavetti. Estamos muy agradecidos por sus deseos. A continuación, now following, Dr. Teresa Dotti will, the Dean at the College of Education from the University of Alabama, will be giving us some words.
Buenos días. I was so pleased that Susan asked me to say a few words, because I know that this project has been near and dear to her heart. It was one of the first things that she spoke to me about when I began at the university back in April. And so I know for not only Susan, but also for Valentina, that this has been really a labor of love to work with everyone, to bring everyone's expertise together into this wonderful book. I know that this book is going to be an invaluable resource for English language teachers, and it will really help to teach, English in global context, and it'll empower those English language teachers to provide quality education to their students and foster cross-cultural understanding, as well as contribute to the broader goals of global communication and cooperation. So congratulations to each of you who contributed to this book. I know that it will truly just be a wonderful resource for those educators who are engaged in this work every day and will help make a positive impact on the learners that they are serving. And so my congratulations goes to each of you who contributed to this text, but also a huge congratulations to Susan and Valentina for kind of leading the effort. I'm just so excited for you and to see this book being launched. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Doty, for, para aquellos que no hablan inglés, la doctora Doty está felicitando el esfuerzo de todos los autores y las editoras y comenta sobre el valor que tiene este trabajo para la formación de futuros docentes en el área de inglés. Entonces, muchas gracias a la doctora Doty por estar aquí con nosotros, por acompañarnos en nuestra alegría. Thank you, Dr. Doty, for joining us in our celebration. We are very, very grateful that you decided to join us in this very momentous occasion. To continue with our launch, we would like to invite Dr. Gabriel Diaz-Moyoli, the director of the department at Ord University in Uruguay, who is also president of IATEFL. He wrote the prologue to our book, and we would like for him to give a few words regarding what this book means to all of us as teacher educators.
Thank you, Valentina. Good afternoon, everybody. Warm greetings from sunny Belize, where I'm currently working. When I was asked to say a few words, I hope you will excuse me for what I'm going to say, but only those of us who live and work in the Global South, in resource-challenged situations, trying to educate the next cohort of those who are going to educate the future citizens of our countries, know how hard it is to have access to quality materials. But more importantly, seldom do we encounter two passionate souls such as Valentina and Susan, who believe in true collaboration and make it happen, because we all believe in collaboration. But this is proof, this book is proof that when there is a will, there is a way, and that the TESOL community is truly an international community that spans borders, that spans all kinds of diversity and brings us all together. And those of us who believe in the power of languages towards peace building and towards equity and justice around the world, I think that this book is just the epitome of what we all believe and we all strive for. So thank you, Valentina. Thank you, Susan, for inviting us to be part of this wonderful opportunity. And I cannot wait for the link to the book to go live, because I have all my students and my colleagues waiting. When are we going to read it? When are we going to read it? So thank you very much for starting this, and congratulations on the product. And thank your husband, Valentina, for the beautiful design.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you very much for your kind words. Muchas gracias, Gabriel. Yo aquí haciendo el translanguaging un poquitito, nada más quisiera agradecer a Gabriel por sus palabras, que habla de lo que es la colaboración, y realmente este trabajo fue un trabajo de colaboración y que nos ayuda a tener materiales de calidad en el sur global, porque como bien lo dijo Gabriel, es muy difícil muchas veces para nuestros estudiantes poder acceder a materiales de calidad, ya que muchas veces son inaccesibles, los precios no son ajustados a la realidad de nuestros contextos. Entonces, realmente para nosotros fue muy importante, y realmente para mí también, como dijo Gabriel, cuando hay el deseo, hay la manera, se encuentra el camino. Entonces, muchas gracias, Gabriel, por tus palabras, por tu contribución, por todo eso. Y bueno, yo voy a quedarme más hacia el final y les voy a mostrar el libro. Ya está disponible en Google Books, así que vamos a seguir con los invitados, siguiendo following, we have Dr. Leslie Barrett, who wrote our first contribution, and she served as the model for many of us to write our chapters. And she also very kindly wrote the epilogue for the book. So Leslie, thank you once again for your contribution, for being part of this community. I think one of the most valuable things for me about this book is the possibility to work with so many people from not just my country, but all of these places, and that we can create this wonderful community.
Well, thank you. I was really pleased to write. Originally, I thought, well, I would just write the World Englishes chapter, because World English is a passion of mine, because I truly believe that one of the biggest difficulties for language learners and in teaching language for teachers as well is the variation that exists in language, not just English, but all languages. And of course, English being a global language has global variation. But after writing the World Englishes chapter, I was honored to be asked to write the epilogue. And in doing that, I realized that the book is truly exceptional. As Gabriel said, it's a collaboration among global professionals, and that's extremely true. But it's also intended or useful for global professionals at every stage of their career. It provides the latest thinking about both learning and teaching and English and language, not just for the students that it was originally intended for, beginning their teacher preparation journey, but also for those that want to update or expand their existing knowledge. And furthermore, for researchers to develop in their research and expand their viewpoint beyond their own context. One of the things I found most interesting about the book, the entire book, is the fact that it was possible to create a single ebook that can be used across multiple cultures. Courses, sorry. I don't think that's ever been done before, where you can take parts of a book and use those different parts for a course. And I think that will make it extremely useful, because how many of us have bought a textbook when we were students for a course and you use a few chapters from it, but then you have to buy another textbook because it deals with a different topic, and you have to use that. And in doing that, I was astounded and just totally impressed by the fact that so many colleagues are willing to contribute to this nonprofit effort because it is so valuable. And as Gabriel said, it just really shows the depth and commitment of the TESOL worldwide community. So thank you for this opportunity. Gracias por todo.
Thank you, Leslie. Muchas gracias nuevamente a Leslie por su valiosísima contribución. Ella fue una de las primeras en escribir un capítulo y sirvió de modelo para otros capítulos, así como también escribió el epílogo del libro y habló de cómo este libro puede servir no solamente para docentes en formación, sino para docentes en todas las etapas, para actualizarse, y también como este esfuerzo colaborativo muestra cómo la comunidad de TESOL puede unirse para este tipo de esfuerzos sin fines de lucro. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you very much once again. And now we have with us a couple of our contributors who came with us to TESOL convention. We have Gracia Mendoza, from Honduras, who helped in securing several of our contributions. I don't know if Gracia, are you here? I think you just joined.
Yes, she is. I'm here. She's joined.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gracia.
Yes.
Do you want me to do this in Spanish or English? I can do any.
Or you can do Spanglish, however you want.
Okay, I can do Spanglish, so I'm going to try. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be part of this volume, and I'm really grateful. And I want to say this in And I have told Susan and Valentina over and over again that for me as an author, this was a very special experience because I had never felt the value of an editor to an author the way that they did it. They really made us feel comfortable, made the process so smooth, and they made us felt the value of our contributions. So I definitely am thankful for the opportunity to be part of this initiative that will definitely not only impact Paraguayan teachers, but it will impact the whole region and all of those that decide to use the volume. I was very fortunate to talk to Valentina and reach out to other people to join them in this journey. And I think that was an enriching experience in itself because it allows us to see different perspectives from different people from different parts of the world. And I think that's the value that this volume has, that it's not only made for one particular region or from one particular region, but that we are able to see the richness of perspectives, of experiences, of expertise from people from all over the world. So I just want to congratulate you both on a great effort, on a job well done. It was the best experience. I cannot say it was challenging because I felt so happy every time I received an email from Susan and from Valentina telling me, so we're in the next phase. Let's do this with your chapter. And I wrote 2 chapters, one on social emotional learning and the other on classroom management. And the learning for me was incredible. So I'm definitely grateful and I definitely congratulate them for the initiative. And I hope that there are more initiatives like this in our region and in our globe. So congratulations and congratulations to all the authors. I know that we're all very happy and excited.
Thank you, Gracia. Muchas gracias a Gracia Mendoza de Honduras, Kelta Tizol, por tus palabras. Realmente nosotros también estuvimos muy contentos de poder trabajar con todos ustedes y de poder recibir tantas contribuciones valiosas de todos los autores que trabajaron con nosotros. We're very, very happy and very, very grateful for all your contributions. We also have Mark Algren, who joined us at the TISO convention this year in March. I don't know if Mark, are you here?
Mark is here, yes.
I am here.
Hello, Mark.
Okay.
Hello, Valentina. My turn to go?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I could make this incredibly short by saying now, please just replay all of the comments that Leslie, Gabrielle, and Gracia made, and you know what I have to say. So I'm going to go off in just a tiny little different direction by saying that my career started teaching in Hong Kong in 1979. I went there with virtually no training. I had 50 students in a classroom. I was teaching English 24 hours a week, and I had no idea what I was doing. We had no resources. We had no training. And I was expected to be one of the experts on the faculty because I was a native speaker. And as we all know, that just doesn't work very well. When I finished and came home in frustration after 1 year of a 3-year commitment, I remember thinking so many times about writing a book that would be a training manual, as it were, for new English teachers, volunteer teachers, just all of those things. And I kept writing. I'd write chapter ideas. I even started to write an introduction to it once upon a time. And of course, it fell by the wayside. Now, here I am at the other end of my career. I retired about 2 years ago and spent time on the TESOL board with Gabrielle. And of course, I've seen Leslie and Gracia on the board. And if any of you are thinking about running for something next year, please do. I'm on the nominating committee for next year, so I encourage you to think about that. But as I look back on my career, this is the book that I wish you had written about 50 years ago, because I needed it. And I think it's such a wonderful thing to have this book available. As I've looked over the chapters, I've thought, what a wonderful, it's a compendium of English teaching, pedagogical training, insights, tips, and advice for teachers in training. And as Leslie said, anybody who wants to kind of up their game a little bit and become more current in the field. I was honored to have the opportunity to serve as the TESOL International Association president. And at that time, one of the themes of my presidential year was professionalizing the profession, increasing the professionalism of English language teachers around the world. And this volume is going to go so far to helping to reach our colleagues all over the world, especially those in lower resourced areas. My career, I have spent giving people advice, so I was very happy to be asked to write the final chapter on how you can continue your education and go on with professional development after you have left a degree program. So in closing, I really would like to thank Valentina and Susan for bringing the book that I only dreamed of to life. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and in this case, it took a world and many lifetimes of experience to write a book. May it serve all of you in our profession very, very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark, for your very, very kind words. Muchísimas gracias a Mark por su contribución más que valiosa. Realmente emociona saber que personas con tanta experiencia y con tantos años de servicio a la profesión hayan decidido donar su tiempo y su expertise para poder llevar este libro a la realidad. Y ahí en eso quiero justamente agradecer especialmente la profesora Susan Spezzini, que sin ella realmente este trabajo no hubiese sido ni la mitad de lo que es hoy. Entonces, Susan fue la que nos trajo a Mark, a Leslie, a Gabriel y a muchos otros que hicieron que realmente este libro sea una combinación de lo nuevo y de la experiencia que realmente esperamos que pueda ser de mucho valor. We are so happy. Mark, thank you so much for contributing to our book. And with that, I also would like to extend my thanks to Susan, because without her, I wouldn't have had all of you contribute to our book. And so Susan also brought someone very important to this process, who is Dr. Julia Austin, who helped us in doing professional proof editing of all the chapters. And she wanted to give us a few words. So, Julia, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you for the opportunity to just congratulate everyone involved in this project. When I should have known, because Susan has gotten me into projects before, and I've probably gotten her into some over the 20-something years we've worked together. But when she asked me to help edit, to serve as the professional editor, she said, "You'll just be reading the final version." Okay, well, if I had held her to that, but it wasn't. It was a process, and all through my career, I have seen myself as a writing coach in whatever venue. So, that served me well with this project with Susan, and we hope that you all, we appreciate your patience and your willingness to revise and rewrite as we sent multiple drafts to you. Our goal was to get it into an academic format using the latest version of the APA style guide, which can be frustrating and a little mystifying at times, but you all complied, and we are so appreciative. But we wanted the book to be accessible to the teachers and the teachers in training who were going to be the primary audience for this. We also wanted it to be professional in tone, so that it would demonstrate how really well-versed and professional our members are in this very large English teaching community. And I was so inspired. I came on as an editor, and I learned so much. There were so many new areas of TESOL that have emerged in the last few years. And I'm so thankful that we have those resources in the book, as well as some, tried and true research methods and pedagogical approaches. So those are just going to serve the global community so well. And again, I'm just so proud to be a part of this community. And Susan, I think thank you for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. And congratulations so much to Susan and Valentina. What a project. And it's just the fruition. It's worth it all, don't you think? I think so.
Thank you so much, Julia. It's really, really, I mean, your contribution is truly invaluable. As it is Susan's and everyone else's, but especially yours, because you came in so selflessly, and we really truly appreciate it. La profesora Julia Austin sirvió como editora profesional de la y realmente no solamente fue una editora, lo que estaba comentando, que sirvió también como coach para la parte de la redacción, y así se pudo lograr una coherencia en todo el libro, que tenga un tono profesional y que también sea accesible para los estudiantes de formación en lengua inglesa. Así que muchas gracias, Julia. Thank you again, Julia. And with that, Susan asked me to give her the floor after Julia. So go ahead, Susan.
Okay. So first of all, my heartfelt thanks to everybody. And when Valentina asked me 2 years ago that she had this idea, and I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and I had another idea in mind for doing my Fulbright, but also had another idea. And COVID's idea was that I had to postpone going to Paraguay for 1.5 years. And so by the time I went, this was the idea. This was the book. And so many of the authors that were from Paraguay had been my undergraduate students in the 80s and 90s. And what better, bringing my own career kind of towards the end, is to work again with those from 20, 25, 30 years ago. But I'm especially, when I asked Julia to help through everything I'd written, maybe 22 years ago, was with, or 21 years ago, Julia was there editing my work. And then I'm supposed to be the final word on these chapters. And I just thought, okay, I've gone through each one 3-4 times with the authors, and it's still not quite right. And so I really thought, when I asked Julia to give the final read, it would be the final read. And on each of the chapters, not each, but many of the chapters, about 40 of the 55 chapters, she would go, wow, this needs a lot of work. And so then that meant another 3 or 4 rounds between me and Julia. And Julia would say, what do they mean here? And I thought, well, I think I know now what they mean, now how to word it. And then we went back and forth about 3 times. And then I'd shared the chapter with the author and said, we were suggesting these changes because you see APA chapter 4 says cohesion and flow and clarity. And so, and I blamed everything on chapter 4 of APA. In other words, it wasn't our choice. APA dictated that those aspects needed to be part of it, and therefore APA was at fault. And the authors very kindly then agreed. And they said, at the end, we got the nicest comments from all of you authors. It was wonderful. We shared several of these comments at the convention in Portland, and we will write, our next writing venture between Valentina and me will be to share kind of, this is a research study. What did our work and how did the authors' collaboration, what do they view? And somebody said, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for being part of, for making me part of it, for making me feel belong to this endeavor. I'd say for over half, it was their first piece that they had published, for that they'd gotten published. Just to see your name for the first time in a book is an amazing experience. I also want to thank Fulbright, because without Fulbright having selected me as a Fulbright scholar and giving me 3 months in 2022 to be full-time, to be in Paraguay, and 90% of my time focused on this project, and again 3 months in 2023, it would not have happened. At least my part wouldn't have. and Julia wouldn't have come along with the ride on the ride virtually. And then back at UAB, every time people ask me to do something, I go, well, the book, I mean, I was spending around 15 to 20 hours for a year and a half. So now it's all done. And my department chair from that time, Donna Slavinsky, is on the screen, and she knows I was always referring to this book during that process. So, but we go way back to years ago when the English teachers in the English department at the Instituto Superior de Lenguas, they wanted resources, and Valentina alluded to that. And they talked about the ideas, but it was COVID that put them into action, because during that COVID time, in the period of isolation, in the period of remote instruction, they kept saying, we want a book like this. And so this idea went into action, pushed by COVID. Not that, every so often we can say COVID helped with something. And so what I want to do is I want to thank Rocio Mazzoleni, who is the coordinator of the English program in the ISL, who listened to her faculty, and they shared it with Valentina, and they said, we need a book. And then Valentina asked me. So with that, Valentina, goes back to you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias a todos. Muchas gracias, Susan, por seguirme en este ride, ¿verdad? En esta aventura. Realmente hacía ya varios años que habíamos tenido la idea. Yo le había presentado a mis colegas la idea de hacer un libro de este tipo, ¿verdad? Y justamente con Rocío, con Cristian Cristófol, con Carolina Ortiz, nos juntamos y le dije, bueno, ¿cómo podemos hacer cuáles son algunos de los temas que necesitamos que nuestros estudiantes aprendan? Y así fuimos armando una lista de temas, de tópicos. And that's why, we are so happy, because a few years ago, looking into the needs of our community, I asked my faculty, okay, we need to work on this, and what are some of the topics, what are some of the areas that we need to give our students, and so thanks to Susan, we were able to bring over so many people, especially from the United States. And thanks to many of others who joined in the journey, we were able to bring this together. I would like to share with you now where the book is.
Valentina, real quick before we go to that, I would like to mention that on the screen, and I'm seeing the whole screen, and I think Valentina isn't, but I just want to list off the names of the people that are authors, that in addition to the people I've already spoken, we have Matthew Vacchi from Washington, D.C., we have Monica Gandolfo from Argentina, we have Araceli Salas from Mexico, Melinda Harrison from UAB, now I don't see people, we have Veronica Sanchez, I believe from Colombia, Griseda Jimenez, I believe from Mexico. Those are the people that I can see that were authors. So I'd like to thank all of you, and you're representing the other 50 authors. There's 55 total, 61 authors. So the other 55 chapters written by 61 authors. So I just want to say, if those of you stick around, then after we see what Valentina is going to show, if you want to say a few words, I think we'll have time for that.
And we need a picture. We need a screen capture of everybody with their cameras on. Lots of people have cameras on.
Okay.
Bueno, ¿por qué no hacemos ya la foto?
For other events, maybe we can do the picture now.
Okay, can everybody switch on their cameras?
Si pueden todos prender su cámara, entonces ya hacemos la foto por si alguien ya tenga que retirarse. Vamos a ver si ponemos cara de foto.
Sonrisa.
Say cheese.
Who's taking the picture?
I am.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, so I want to share with you, the book is currently in 2 locations. One is a place that you all know, which is Google Books. You can find it there. It's already published on the Google Books site. And if you search for teaching English in global context, and you can find it here. And then, of course, Google Books takes you to wherever they want to take you. So you have to go to the front to see the cover page. And there's the table of contents here. So we have a book overview that was written by Susan that explains the process of the book that we've already discussed a little bit throughout these talks. Then we have the different chapters, starting with part 1, that we have 4 chapters, and here are the authors of part 1. The first chapter is an introduction to the teaching of English in global context, and then Leslie wrote the chapter on global Englishes, Remigio on the diversity of English classes, and Brian Meadows, humanism in English language teaching. And so you can see, you can navigate the book here. Then you have the next part is about language learners, and you have 5 chapters related to that. And so we have Stephanie Montiel with building relationship with language learners, Gracia Mendoza with supporting language, social, emotional learning, Monica Gandolfo and her co-authors, embracing young learners, Beatriz Damiani, Laura Campero Chipe, Vicky Arisa Pinzon, who's also here with us today, teaching and engaging adolescents. Then we have Maura Salimben with empowering adults for autonomous learning. Then we go to part 3. Let's see if part 3 is named language learning and use, and we have building language awareness by Harshini Lawani, using social media to enhance language awareness, Silvia Terol and Jessica Amarilla, explicit and implicit learning in second language acquisition by Carla Fernandez, designing learner-centered classrooms to promote active learning by Heather Kaiser, promoting thinking skill to enhance learning and can enhance language learning by Christina Sandy, exploring meaning through translanguaging practices by Gaylene Liu and Julie Choi, incorporating interjections to facilitate conversational flow by Aida Romachenko, and providing feedback on learner language output by Christian Christoffel. And I think I would like to this way mention everybody, because I think it's important for us to thank all of our authors. Then we have the context for teaching and learning is part 4, and we have 8 chapters, teaching English in different contexts by Remigio Diaz, incorporating inclusive education by Rocio Mazzoleni, creating an ELT classroom community by Becky Crosby and Diane Carter, connecting students' interaction with classroom management by Gracia Mendoza, strengthening communication through classroom discourse by Ken Buckley-Edds, integrating technology in language classrooms with Holly Hubbard, Amanda Foss, and Chad Strawn, teaching in virtual and hybrid classrooms by Julia Gretseva and Elena Sirianova, and preparing to teach through effective lesson planning by Harshini Lawani. Then we go to part 5, which is content and language instruction. And we have 6 chapters here, and we have counterbalancing content and language integrating learning with Alberto Roca, implementing actionable gamification design in ELT with Fernando Esquivel, teaching English to young learners through authentic literature with Style Rufinelli Ortiz and Carolina Ortiz Rufinelli, using theater to teach English with Carolina Ortiz and Matthew Baki, who is also here with us, incorporating music in the ELT classroom with Otoniel Carrasquel, and using translation and interpretation in ELT with Silvia Terol. Then we have part 6, that it's methods and approaches. We have, again, 7 chapters here. Major ELT trends in the 20th century with Clara Onatra and Sandra Palencia. Current approaches in English language teaching with Nicolás Dantas. And alternative approaches to English language teaching with Gabriel Diaz Majoli. Developing critical thinking through inquiry-based learning by Valentina Canese. Task-based approach with adult learners by Ignacio Jimenez and Cynthia Rolón. Engage, Study, Activate with adult learners by Cynthia Rolón and Ignacio Jimenez. And a sociocultural approach to teaching grammar by Catherine Davis. Then we have the next part is with teaching strategies. And we have strategies to teach listening with Elena Núñez, strategies to teach speaking by Susan Spezzini, strategies to teach reading by Elena Kurkova and Melinda Harrison, strategies to teach writing by Melinda Harrison, strategies to teach integrated skills by Lynn Fuller, strategies to teach pronunciation by Susan Spezzini, and strategies to teach vocabulary by Wenetine Fachnat. And then part A is assessment. And in assessment, we have 4 chapters. Introduction to Language Assessment by my dear Professor Natalie Kuhlman. Authentic Assessment of, for, and as Learning by our dear friend Gabriel Diaz Majoli, again. International Frameworks to Assess Language Development by Elena Núñez. And e-portfolios to assess language learning by Briseida Jimenez, who I think is also here. And finally, we have our last part, that is career development and enhancement. We have 6 chapters, including developing intercultural competencies by Lizeth Rojas Barreto, Jairo Enrique Castañeda Trujillo, and John Eduardo. Observing the transformative teaching process by Veronica Sanchez Hernandez and Jonathan Puon Castro. Becoming a reflective practitioner through action research by here myself, and doing research in the ELT undergraduate classroom by Araceli Salas, who I think is also here. Promoting collaborative professionalism among pre-service teachers by Diana Patricia Pineda. And finally, building and engaging with your professional community by Mark Algren, who was also here giving us some words. So you can access the book through Google Books. Also, you can access the book through our conference, our Congreso Paraguayo de Lingüística Aplicada, compla.org, and you go to publications, and you go here, Libro Teaching English in Global Context, and you can download it directly from this site. I would like to invite everyone to join us next week for our Applied Linguistics Conference that is going to be held virtually on the next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 14th, 15th, and 16th of November. Susan and I will be giving a presentation of our book, and also some of our authors will be sharing how they've been using their chapters. I would like to finish. I would like to just express my immense gratitude to all of you, especialmente Susan, especially Susan, for joining me in this crazy endeavor. It was the most wonderful experience. I think this book will be one really important milestone in our professional achievements, and I'm really glad that we were able to gather so many wonderful people to contribute with this project. And I'm very grateful to all of you who are here, and also to those of you who are not here, because without you, this project would have not been possible. Sin ustedes, este proyecto no hubiese sido realidad, porque for me to write a whole book like this, it would have been impossible. Writing 2.5 chapters was already a lot. So I really thank Susan, Julia, Gabriel, everybody. Thank you, and more thank you. And
Valentina, before we close, could we ask each author just to say one sentence so we can hear their voice? Many of them, I haven't heard what they sound like.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say that next. Si alguno de ustedes tiene algo que agregar, Araceli, Briseida, Verónica, Anne,
let's just call their names. Okay, Matthew was the first on the screen. He was number 1.
Yes.
I just want to thank you, and I also want to thank my co-author, Carolina Ortiz, because I was on a Fulbright like you, and she approached me about helping her write the chapter about using theater. I'm a theater person, and so the exercises and the things in the book are things I use with actors, and there are things that Carolina uses when she teaches English. So it was just a real fun collaboration. Thank you.
I never even knew what Matthew sounded like before. Okay, good. Monica from Buenos Aires.
It was an amazing experience to write the chapter, to try to put so many different ideas. It was very challenging to put so many ideas together in a very short form. We learned a lot, and I want to say we, because all the members of the group, one of them is not with us today now, but she is probably watching from above, so she will be very pleased as well. And it was also an incredible opportunity to share some of the experience of so many years with people who might take advantage of it and who otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Okay. Veronica said she had to leave. Are you still on, Veronica, so you can say something? I think she just clicked off. Okay, Araceli from Mexico.
Yes, hello. Well, you know my voice, but
yes, I know. I've met you in person. I've seen you in 2 places.
Yes. Okay. As an editor, I was amazed to see the careful edition and the careful revision of the chapter. So I want to thank you. Thank you very much for all your help, because I also learned a lot. Yes, and congratulations to you both, Valentina and Susan, and to each one of the authors. And it is so nice to be here with friends, surrounded by friends.
And when I saw that Araceli was an editor of the Mexico TESOL Journal, I said, let's Zoom. And I was in Paraguay, and I wanted her advice how a person goes about editing the submissions. And that was a big help. Briseida Jimenez.
Wait, can you please join me in congratulating Araceli, who's just been elected to the board of directors of TESOL for the next 4 years. Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations, Araceli.
Thank you so much.
Briseida Jimenez.
Hello there, good afternoon. I really want to thank you for all the hard work that you have done. This is also a great experience. It's my first time writing a chapter, and it's the first time I did it with your team. So it's been amazing. I hope I can work with you in the future, because I really liked it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all your work.
Our pleasure, Lisa. And then Melinda Harrison, who was helping some with overall editing.
I want to say that this was an incredible experience for me to work on such a global project, especially co-authoring a chapter with a colleague in Russia. But also just congratulations, Valentina and Susan, on this immense undertaking. And I want you all to know, Susan and Julia were both on my dissertation committee, and they took just the same amount of attention to detail with all of that. So I expect nothing less. I've got my other computer screen over here. I've got the book pulled up already. I'm scrolling through it. I'm sharing the link with people. And so now we need to get it out there. We need to get people to actually get this into their virtual hands. And be incorporating this in the classroom, truly in global context, not just in Paraguay, although that is the primary audience. So congratulations again, and thank you for inviting me to be involved.
And I want to follow up from what Melinda said, get it out there, use it. We started writing it for Paraguay, the Paraguayan context. Then South America, all of Latin America, and then it was the world, mainly the global South. But those chapters seem to have a universal type of application. And so this semester, at the beginning of the semester, I had a class of 7 postmaster students, called the educational specialists. And we read all the chapters. Now, everybody didn't read all of them. There's 7 students. Every week, 1 student read 1 chapter. So there's 55 chapters. It took us 8 weeks. We finished this week. And I had them read the chapter and ask them, first of all, does the abstract match the chapter? Then what did you learn or what are you going to apply? And then keep in mind the chapter was written for the context of the global South, which they'd learned what that meant. Does it apply for the United States, for the context of your teachers that you're helping that have to learn how to teach English learners? And basically 90% of the chapters got a green light from my graduate students saying, yes, this chapter is useful in the United States. And that's all I'm going to say. Valentina.
Any more authors here? No? Okay. I would just like to say that each of the chapters have their own DOIs. Those are not yet activated because we are in the process of constructing a website where each chapter will have its own page, and that's where the DOIs will be activated. So just so that you know and that you don't go crazy, it's like, what happened with it? Why do you have DOIs and they're not active? That's why. The whole process of putting together a website, again, it's going to take maybe a couple of more months, but we'll have it up, and then maybe we'll have a relaunch then, and so we can see each other again, because at least for me, this is like a new family that we've put together with Susan, and we're very, very happy. We're excited, stoked, and like Melina said, thank you. We're going to be sharing this, and then hopefully we can also see how this material, it's what kind of use is being put into, and so we want to turn it into a research collaboration project. So if any of you is interested in joining us in that endeavor, we're all open arms for that. So thank you once again. Thank you, Dean Dory. Muchas gracias, Decano Pavetti, por acompañarnos durante todo este tiempo, y esperamos que este libro sea de gran utilidad para la comunidad de docentes de inglés, no solamente aquí del Paraguay, sino de todo el mundo. Thank you, everyone. Muchas gracias. Y now we can say, Francisco, estamos listos para despedirnos.